real.
What's up, Eric Deluxe?
5 Ski.
And we have a very good friend of ours, known this guy for a very long time.
Very long time.
And we ran into him kind of randomly in his beautiful car, and he pulled up, and I was like, damn, we're about to get shot.
Wait,
and
when
then
was
he
this?
looks at us, and he stares.
Friday?
Was that Friday?
I think it was Friday.
Well, actually, I
I
asked
just rolled
you
up on him
before.
Yeah, you had asked me to come on before, and then it just never happened.
And I was like, man, come on the pod. You're here. And he was like, oh, let's set it up. I got to go. I got the kid. But excited. He goes, no, this is what he said. He goes, man, no one wants to hear an old guy speak. And if that was the case, no one would, all 30 people that listen to us wouldn't be listening.
We will
see. We're old too.
We will see in the comment section if anyone wants to hear an old guy speak.
What I'm saying is we're old too, bro. What the fuck?
I guess.
Stonerokk, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thanks for having me, dudes.
Very
Michael?
excited to have you.
Yeah, what's up?
No, I was thinking, like, man, what can we talk to Stone about? And then in my head just goes to so many stories of early Vegas.
Yep, let's do it.
I want to touch on early Vegas. I want to touch on
Hollywood days.
The Hollywood days.
Yeah.
I want to hear some AM stories. It's funny. I was talking to my girl about AM because she's younger, so she knew. She saw him at Hardfest with the Daft Punk stuff, and saw him at Coachella. And I asked her if she ever saw the documentary, and she said no. So we watched it. I made her watch it, and obviously you're in it, but I want to hear just stuff like that.
Okay.
No, just like
let's talk about
nothing
it.
like we don't need to go sad, but like just happy stuff.
Yeah.
And then health. This guy is like on some next level shit. Like the stuff. All right, let's put it this way. He hasn't eaten since yesterday.
Let's put it this way. I don't eat on Mondays.
That's wild, dude.
I don't
He
eat
does
on
not
Mondays.
eat on Mondays.
It's a lot of the reason is for health purposes, but also I like to tell people I don't eat on Mondays.
That's a fucking cool thing to say.
Like
I thought I was killing it doing like 20 hours a day. But
no,
damn.
20 hours a day is pretty tough,
20-hour
too.
fasting is great. A lot of fun stuff happens at like 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours. But I'll tell you how I started the 36 hours. No, I don't eat on Mondays. Is Ian Fletcher.
Really?
Shout out to Ian Fletcher. I don't remember how it came up, but he was like, "Yeah, I just don't eat on Mondays." I go, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I do 36-hour fast every week," and I'm like,
where did he get that from?
I don't know.
Interesting.
But I was like, well, I'm going to try it. And then I just didn't. This was like, I don't know, a year ago or 2 years ago.
And I remember this era of Ian. He dropped a lot of weight too.
Yeah.
He was looking really good. Pause.
And then like 2 months ago, I hit him on a Sunday. I was like, yo, let's hit this 36 hours. He's like, dude, I haven't done it in so long. I was like, well, let's just hit it. And then we did it, and we've been doing it. I mean, I've been doing it.
How was your first time?
I don't have a problem fasting. It's not hard for me.
Were you fasting pre 36
yeah,
hours?
Yeah.
Just a typical 16,
I fast
20?
almost every day, 20 hours.
20 hours.
And
so you have a 4-hour window.
This is going to be the most fucking boring episode.
No, dude.
People have already.
No, the thing
people have already turned it off.
People want to know. No.
This is what I'll say. I'm going to keep it really simple. If you want more information on fasting or any of this stuff, hit me on Instagram or whatever, and or call me or what we get on the phone. I'll give you the long version, but the short version is this. There's two different types of people who fast. There's people who fast for the health and regenerative benefits, and then there are people who fast for caloric restriction because they believe
what's caloric restriction?
So if I don't eat for 20 hours, I can only eat so many calories in the 4 hours that I allow myself. Got it. So
it's a way to keep your calorie intake.
Yeah. So it's easy for people, like if you're metabolically unhealthy, like if you're really big, it's easier to get people to eat a lot less food. Now, someone like me, I can eat 10,000 calories in an hour because I have no off button.
Yeah. It's easy.
Yeah, it's super easy.
I'm this I binge it's not a good thing.
So I just faded like 1,100 calories right now at lunch.
I outsource all of these issues to my therapist. So there's the people who do it for caloric restriction, and then the people who do it for regenerative benefits, and those are the people that do water only, no coffee, no bullshit. coffee, there, you know, some people say it breaks your fast. Some people say it doesn't break your fast. What breaks your fast is an uptick in your glucose levels.
Yeah.
So there are people who drink coffee and their glucose goes up. Not everyone.
Oh, wow.
And the only way to know that is if you wear a continuous glucose monitor and you track it and you say, okay, I had coffee at 9.
How do you have a monitor? What?
I mean, like diabetics wear it.
Got it.
So you could get one. It's expensive, or you can catch diabetes and then get one. I don't think you can catch diabetes. So and the people that do it for regenerative, where you're building new cells, you're healing stuff, because we have cancer in us all the time. It's just very, very small amounts, and your body's usually just pushing it out anyways. So pushing out all the bad stuff, regrowing hair, regrowing skin, regrowing cells, all that stuff. You can't do that unless you're like truly, truly, truly fasted.
Really?
And then there are people that are like, oh, you know, I eat like, you know, a couple almonds or whatever because it's just straight fat.
I remember that diet. Yeah.
It's like you're not really fasting. So
they're saying that they're eating that
during the fast.
Yeah, during their fast,
yeah.
and they're
but
still
it's
fasted.
not a meal. Yeah, it's not
yeah,
a meal.
and I'm just like, to me, and this is what I tell people, I go, if you're going to go through the pain and suffering, which it doesn't last very long, but if you're going to go through the pain and suffering of not eating for fucking 20 hours, why not reap all of the benefits?
Yeah,
like, why fuck around with coffee and like all this stuff? So I do it. I started because I tore my ACL and my meniscus in 2018, and meniscus recovery is miserable, but it could heal itself. And I had known that fasting promotes healing with your body. Wow. So I was like, well, I'm just going to start fasting. And like day 1, I was 20 hours. I
remember that. Yeah.
It fucking sucked, but I did it because the reason why I was doing it was so strong. I was not trying to have meniscus surgery if I can avoid it. And after, I don't know, a couple days after I got rid of like once my body pushed out all of the like sugar nonsense that I was craving, it was easy. And then I started doing, then I read that if you do keto on nutritional keto, not like butter and coffee, pound of bacon, all the nonsense.
Pound of cheese.
Yeah, none of that. Like nutritional keto, it makes the fasting easier because now your body is pulling energy from fat stores and you don't require glucose, and now you can fast for however long the fuck you want. So my body's pretty good at switching from energy from glucose to fat. So it's easy for me to just like fast and fast and fast and fast. Like I've gone, before I was doing the 36 hours, I would be busy and just be like, oh my God, I'm 27 hours in, I haven't fucking eaten. That was before I stopped eating at like 5 p.m. But yeah, and it's, I feel good. I have like mental clarity. I believe in the healing properties of it. So I just do it until someone tells me not to.
Well, who's going to tell you not to?
I mean, a doctor might tell me not to. Like,
really?
Hey, bro. I know that like eating the way I eat, which is basically it's super condensed.
Yeah. What do you eat on a daily, like Tuesday, tomorrow, or what are you eating tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I'll probably eat earlier than I usually do, just because it's 30.
And you have
36.
a timer on the app, or you use your?
Yeah.
Which one do you use? I use
I don't
Better
know
Me.
I don't know what it's called. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. But it's got like a widget. Serene is the one I use.
Serene.
Shout out to Serene sponsoring this podcast.
You're almost 20 hours.
20 hours in.
20.
So 20
hours left. Does that say left? Oh no,
20 hour fast. So
Got
every
it.
day I do 20, but this one will go. But then like there was this monster on Friday.
How long did you go?
I don't remember, but I didn't eat till like
because
late
after 20,
Saturday.
man, like you're not craving anything.
No.
Like you're good.
It's
you know?
most of it is in your head. Most of the hunger pangs are dehydration anyways.
So you drink water.
Drink water or like electrolytes.
I need coffee though.
You
But doesn't electrolytes?
You don't need coffee. You
I
don't
do.
need coffee. Oh my God!
Tell me why I don't need coffee.
This is the worst podcast. This is the worst DJ podcast.
No, it's good, bro. Listen.
Okay,
you'll
short
be
version of
you'll be surprised how much they love hearing about like health and
Okay.
mental health,
All
because what you don't want to
Okay.
talk about
Okay.
playing Taylor Swift all day.
Again, if you want the long version of any of this stuff, like find me on Instagram and just
DM 'em.
slide into the DMs and we could talk about. I'll
Okay,
send you
go.
podcasts to listen to.
Send it to me too.
Okay, so and I'm probably not getting this 100% right, but there is a receptor in your body called adenosine, and what adenosine does is it builds up throughout the day, and at the end of the day, when you have enough adenosine, it tells your body, okay, it's time to go to sleep. What coffee does is it terminates the connection to the adenosine, so you don't feel tired anymore as the day goes by. But once that caffeine wears off, all that adenosine that built up hits you like that. That's why you get the crash and you need more coffee, because now you're like, oh fuck, I'm super tired. The process of getting tired doesn't stop just because you're on coffee.
Yeah.
All you're doing is telling your body, you're tricking your body into thinking you're not tired, but you're still getting fucking tired. So you're kind of fucking yourself if you're drinking coffee all day long. A, because you're ultimately gonna have the crash, and B, the half-life on coffee, how long it stays in your body, is so long that even if you have it at 8 a.m., there's still caffeine traces when you go to sleep at 9, 10, 11 p.m., and that affects your sleep.
Or 1 a.m.
No, yeah.
Or 1 a.m., which
There'll be times where, like,
we could talk about sleep too, why that's fucked up too.
Yeah, I'm
There'd
terrible.
be nights where like I'll have the coffee at like 7 a.m. But then like when it comes 10 p.m. I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
I'm like wide awake. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, it's caffeine, like,
But is it all right, man?
if you could do without it, it'd be really, really beneficial on your sleep.
okay,
which-
just sleep.
Would just, well, I mean, also
Not my
just,
fast,
also
or
just
depends.
living. Also just living. Like, imagine you're dependent on coffee just to like exist every day.
No, I just enjoy it.
so have decaf coffee.
Scratchy drinks decaf.
Shout out to producer Scratchy.
Wait, decaf all the time?
He always does decaf.
Sometimes. I think he'll have like one, and then the second cup is decaf.
I think tea is a little bit better. I
like tea.
I think
I fucks
tea is
with
a little bit better. But I don't really have caffeine. Like occasionally I'll have a Diet Coke every now and then just because like I'm so fucking delicious. But it's not because I need caffeine or anything. I just love Diet Coke. But even then, like now that I know what is in a Diet Coke and what it does to your body, I'm just like, oh, it's not worth it. Just like the booze we're talking about. I don't know if they recorded, but yeah, I don't drink not because I'm sober, but just because like
You don't need it.
I don't need it and I don't want it in my body. And the upside.
I think. Do you think once you get to a certain point of doing this, like you really pay attention to what enters your body and you see it as like poison or like backtracking? Like why? Like for example, I lost like 20 pounds maybe a few years ago, back when 2016 maybe, maybe like 30 pounds actually, and it got to a point where I was so into it where like everything I love and craved, I would look at it as like poison. Like I don't want this shit inside of my body.
Yeah,
it got to are you at that point?
I mean, look, by no means am I the beacon of health. Like I'm probably 20 pounds overweight. I could probably lose 20 pounds. I just don't move enough. But once you start putting in the effort to like take care of yourself, and that's even just getting information, not just doing the things, you start looking at everything like what is the upside to this? What's the upside to getting drunk tonight? What's really going to happen?
I'm gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, but like what, you're gonna see some tits, you're gonna get laid. Like you've seen tits, you've gotten laid, like you've been drunk. Like what's really gonna happen?
All right,
right?
the real upside to me having a drink, especially while I'm DJing, is like just to take the edge off.
That's fair.
I don't care about the tits or
that's-
whatever.
No, that's totally fair. Like a drink to take the edge off, but then maybe through your journey you find another way to take the edge off. Maybe it's like
I haven't found it.
Maybe it's breathing, some sort of breathing protocol that you engage in before you get on.
Meditating before the
Yeah,
set.
or maybe
How much breathing can you do and meditation before you go up there and DJ and 15 drunk idiots come approach the DJ booth and you're like, God damn, I need a drink.
Maybe you'll get to a point. maybe you'll find yourself down a journey at some point where you realize that the booze, even the one drink to take the edge off, is not worth it, and your brain will take the edge off.
I
for
tell
you.
myself the next morning that it wasn't worth it. Every time. All right, let
You're
me ask you
hungover.
this.
Yeah.
You just said you're 20 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
And everyone says it's 80. Some might debate it's 90% diet,
Yeah.
10% exercise.
Yeah.
Why, if you're so strict on your fasting and what you eat
Yeah.
and what you drink, why would you consider yourself overweight?
Because I am.
I know, but I'm saying like,
Why isn't it? Why am I not losing weight? Because I'm so diligent with my diet.
I've
I'll tell
lost
you
weight
why.
without
I think
exercise.
it's
I'll tell you
age
what.
too.
It's age.
Yeah.
It's how much lean mass you have on your body. Lean mass is like the incinerator for calories. So if you put on muscle, you can eat whatever the fuck you want, and
It burns
and,
it.
and it's going to burn it. Now you have to exercise to put on the muscle, which
Not easy.
chicken and the hen, right? Like what's actually causing the weight loss? Is it the exercise? But people that are metabolically healthy who have lean mass, they're just burning calories. Why isn't it working for me? Because I have the body type that I have to move my body to burn like I don't burn calories efficiently, and I can't live off of 1,100 calories. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. How many calories do you have a day?
I think like 1,700, 1,800.
That's light.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
real
it's
average.
but
That's enough calories to lose weight.
but if I'm not moving, if I'm sitting around a lot, which I'm in my car a lot, I'm sitting around, like I'm not taking walks or exercising, whatever, enough, then yeah, it does. I'm sure if I was diligent and
But-
stuck with it for months and months and months, that's the other thing. Like I'll like fall the fuck off sometimes.
But
Then
you dropped weight before. Like I remember you were bigger.
I've been up and down a couple times in my life. Like I was
You
like,
dropped a lot
That's
during
how- that's
your
how I am
injury,
too.
though, when you started the fasting. I remember you told
because
me.
I was doing PT 3 days a week, 3 hours a day, and that was like crazy exercise, right? So after my surgery, I lost a shit. I was like 180 or something crazy, and my high school weight's like 177, but I was like 180, like diesel.
Yoked.
Yeah. And then COVID happened, and instead of like doing the right thing and like walking or running like you did, I was just like, man, fuck it, let's just eat. My biggest problem is I know how to lose weight. Like I can turn the switch on and off like that.
Same.
So I'm not like I'll get big and I'm just like, whatever, let's just lose it.
I'll get back on track.
Yeah, and then I lose it, and then I'm like,
issue.
okay, I'm over it. I want to eat pizzas all day long. And so most people, they gain weight and they lose it. They're like, I never want to do that again, and they just stay on track. Where I'm just like, yeah, I can turn the switch on and off. I don't, which is not healthy. And I'm hoping that I don't ever balloon up again. But I'm pretty focused on losing weight this year for the rest of the year because my tennis instructor said, man, for a fat guy, you move pretty good.
Is this Bossa Nova?
Yeah. Shout out to Bossa Nova. Imagine how much better you'd move if you were lighter. And I was like, did you just call me fat, bro?
Wow.
But he's right though.
You shouldn't have said his name. He's gonna get canceled.
He's right. Nah,
I'm just kidding.
nah.
I'm totally kidding.
It was the right
He's
amount.
protected.
It was the right amount of motivation.
No, that's our
It was
dog.
the perfect amount of, yeah, no, Bossa Nova is the best. But yeah, so I want to play tennis a lot. Like I want to play better, and I want to play. I want to be, quicker and be able to move more efficiently. Even though for a fat guy, I move pretty good.
You're not fat.
I mean,
Pretty swift for a fat guy.
215. I should 210, 215. I should probably be 185.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like Ozempic and all that stuff?
I'm not into any shortcuts.
I'm
I'm not into any shortcuts. Not
good.
because it's cheating or whatever. Even like people that get the stomach surgery, I know that there are extreme examples where like they're so big they have to do it, and that's totally fine. The problem is something happens to your brain and your mind when you actually go lose the weight.
Yeah.
That it changes you as a person. And if you take a shortcut, like you get the stomach thing or Ozempic or whatever, you never learn good habits, and you never learn the effort to what it takes to like lose the weight and that transformation from inside, which is the real transformation, that never happens, and then you just end up getting fat again.
Yeah.
It's hard to lose weight, and it is even harder to maintain it. Like,
Oh, so hard.
oh my god!
Everyone I
dude.
know who's in shape says it's easy to maintain. It's
I don't
harder.
know,
it's
man.
harder to lose
I like eating
weight.
chips.
Yeah, well, that's because you like eating chips. You've held on to some bad habits. Stop eating fucking chips. Like,
all right, well, shit, man, that was a good little education.
You're not
there.
7 years old.
So from now on, I will not be eating on Mondays.
I mean,
I'm gonna try it, man. I think we should try it.
Let's do a group chat. Like Ian and I every Sunday night. We're like, we're going.
So
or
he's
what?
still doing it.
Yeah, he's on it right now. I texted him this morning, and he was like, I'm 18 hours in, but I got to figure out. I got to eat later on Sundays because it's some bullshit when my 36 hours ends at like 5 a.m. And I'm like, okay, so go 39.
Yeah,
go 40. Like, you're that deep. You're not hungry.
Yeah,
you're not hungry.
Wait. Last little bit of facts. You explain to me the fasting levels, like, because I know I have an app and it tells me like after a certain amount of time we're at like it says ketosis.
Yeah,
and then
I want to say this first, and I should have said this first. Fasting by itself does not lead to weight loss.
Explain.
It still matters what you put in your fucking mouth.
Of course.
And how much you put in your mouth. Like if you just fast, yeah, you'll lose some weight because your body's going into starvation mode, but you smell a French fry and that weight's just going to come right back. Like you really have to watch what the fuck you put in your mouth. And if you're doing that, you don't have to fast. And if you're going to fast, you might as well do water only because that's when you're going to reap all of the benefits. But your question was, what
levels.
Happens when?
Like the levels, like after like 8 hours, after 12.
Yeah. If you eat a dozen donuts and 5 pancakes and 3 bags of chips and half a box of cereal the day before you fast, it's going to take you longer to break down all that glucose. Okay. So it's hard to say like what happens when. But I will say this, every hour after like 14 hours, I think, 13 or 14 hours, the increase in healing, assuming you're doing the water only version, it's not just like, oh, I got an extra hour of healing. It's like 14 to 16, it's like 100x improvement. Yeah. 16 to 18 is like 1,000x improvement. 18 to 20, it's like the amount of healing that happens is like, the compounding effect is like astronomical. It's crazy. So, you know, if you're going to do 14, why not do 15? Yeah. If you're going to do 15, why not do 18? Easy. Yeah, like 8 of it should be sleeping. Yeah. You're done. You're halfway done when you wake up, right? Yeah. Assuming if you don't eat a few hours before sleeping, which you shouldn't. So let's say 3 hours before. You sleep for 8 hours. That's 11 hours. Like you can't not eat for another 5-6 hours.
No, I'm pretty good at like I don't ever eat breakfast anyway.
Yeah.
Like I love breakfast food, but I don't eat like in the morning. Just for years, like before I knew what fasting was, I didn't know what the hell fasting was. I thought I've always heard the term fasting because like I grew up with like friends that did it for religious reasons, but I thought that was just it. I thought it was like a religious thing. I think it was until we were in Atlanta a couple years ago. And we were with some guy, and he told us about the intermittent fasting, and we're like, what's that? And then he explained it. He goes, oh yeah, I do like 16 off, 8 on, or something like that. And I think
I started it that weekend.
That was the first time I heard of what this was, and I was like, wait, what? And then he kind of,
who was it?
Oh man, I forgot.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to the guy.
Shout out to the guy in Atlanta.
No, it was at like a sushi restaurant. Before the gig.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, we'll try to remember. But
was it Jermaine Dupri?
No, it wasn't Jermaine. It was just like a DJ. It was like a friend of ours.
Yeah.
It's really, I don't know. It's great. I enjoy it.
No, I'm down. Like I just wanted to get more info. And like I said, bro, like you'd be surprised how many people reach out after like a health episode.
Because it still goes back to like DJing, man. You want to look good when you're
it helps everyday performance.
I'll say this
with DJing and other shit.
I was when I lost all that weight after my surgery, and I was fasting heavy and like literally counting every fucking almond that went into my mouth.
Pause.
You can't put almonds in your mouth?
Yeah. I guess.
I said if I've said everything I put in my mouth, you can pause that.
Okay.
But like, you don't have to pause an almond.
It was just easy.
Okay, fine. So I was literally watching.
It's a nut, you know. It's in your mouth.
I was that okay. I could see where you might want to pause that.
Yeah, it was just
fine.
It's a nut in your
so
mouth.
I was paying attention to everything that went into my mouth.
Pause. Okay.
And I had lunch with a guy who I hadn't seen in like 10 years.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I think you're like reverse aging. And I go, what do you mean? He's like, you look better now than you did.
We get that a lot.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's probably because I'm fucking fasting and drinking a gallon of water a day.
100%.
And then a couple weeks ago, I had a dinner at my friend's house. And, you know, this broad was 25 years old and an idiot. And I don't give too much credence to what she said. But everyone there was pretty young.
Right.
And so everyone was like 33 and under. And then it was me, 44, and Jordan Belfort, 50, whatever, however
Wow,
old
the
he is.
wolf.
Yeah, the wolf. The wolf was at the dinner.
Crazy. What the fuck?
And it was a big dinner. It was like 25 people
right.
or whatever. So I don't remember how it came up, but she was like, because I was guessing their age.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you guys are under 30. Like, isn't that the most important thing you care about? And they were like, well, guess our age. I was like, okay.
They really want to be under 25.
Well, I guessed under 30, and then I guessed 25, and one was 26, one was 25. And then I was like, well, guess my age. And they were like, well, they're like thinking back of like all the details I gave them about my life. And they were like 32, maybe 33. And I was like,
I like
I'll
that.
take that.
And that's really old to them.
And
They
that's
think
really
life is
old.
over.
Yeah. They're like 30 years old.
After 30, you're like, life
So
is
funny
over.
you say that, because when I got to the dinner, there's two guys there who are in finance who were talking, and they were like, one was 31, one was 32, and I only know that because they said their age. And they were talking about their jobs were going to pay for them to go get their MBA, and if they got their MBA, they'd bump up in another position, money, whatever. And the one was like, yeah, I don't know, man, like, I'm 32. Like, it's probably too late for me to get my MBA. Like, who cares at this point? Mm-hmm. And the other one was like, yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm 31. Like,
Jesus.
And I'm just like,
little do they know.
Y'all motherfuckers don't know shit.
Yeah,
like,
shit.
At 20, you think you know everything. Then at 25, you're like, I didn't know shit at 20, but I know everything now. Then at 30, you're like, oh, I didn't know shit at 25 or 20, but now I know everything. At 35, you're kind of like, I don't think I've ever known anything. And then at 40, you're just like, yeah, I don't know shit, and I'm just gonna roll with
just
the punches.
getting
Like,
started.
whatever happens, yeah, I'm just getting started, dude. I mean, if I'm lucky and I live to 90, I've only lived half of my life.
Yeah,
like, there's so many more bills I have to
keep
pay.
fasting. You got this.
So many more hours of fasting. So many more bills. Like, so much shit. Like, so many days of like bullshit. Like,
well, hey man, you definitely look great.
Yeah.
I look
You're
32.
glowing.
I look
You
32.
You
Yeah.
got some bright colors on, little shorts. This is nothing new to Stone.
Lots of leg. Lots of leg.
Lots of hair.
Yeah.
The shorts get shorter.
The shorts.
The
get
shorts
shorter.
do get shorter as you get older. That's for sure. That's for sure.
You've been rocking the short shorts for a while.
Yeah, but
You're like a pioneer.
But
of it,
I'm
actually.
noticing other people are now buying into the shorter
Yeah, it
shorts.
became a trend. Yeah.
It's a thing, but
Yeah.
You gotta bring the Speedo back.
You're not new to this. You're true to this.
I'm 20 pounds away from speedo weight.
Wow, you were the
Speedo
ill
in the
Speedo.
club, man.
So that's another thing. When I was thinking of things to talk about, I also went back to you and Graham Funky. You guys were the first like open format DJ duo ever.
We invented open format DJing in Las Vegas. Shout out to Clinton Sparks.
No, but seriously, you guys were the first duo for sure.
We invented
Duos.
DJ duos playing on turntables.
What's crazy? We had a duo.
In the United States.
At Tao.
We had a duo. We never named
You guys
it.
had a duo? Well, you guys had another crew.
Oh, we had a crew.
We were doing
yeah.
4 turntables at Tao.
At Tao.
Really?
Randomly.
Up in the birdhouse.
They didn't even have 4 turntables.
on
up there.
vinyl.
Yeah.
We were fucking schlepping vinyl up there.
No. Was it Ari Serrato?
We were on the early stages of that. We were on vinyl for sure.
I don't know how that even came about. I think it was like Strauss's idea. He was just like, these.
No one knows two DJs.
That
to
was
do
like
it.
that was
You guys
like
couldn't even see anyone.
No one
up
knew
there.
what the fuck we were doing.
No
out
one
there.
knew.
They thought
But
like,
we were
doing
having so
lighting.
much fucking fun up there,
Yeah.
and no rehearsal, no nothing, like just freestyling, like, and we got off some dope mixes that after the mix we'd be like, oh, that was fucking dope. Let's remember that. And then did not remember it,
dude.
But yeah, we did a thing which I wish could have gone longer.
What was your residencies back in like
in
early
Vegas?
Vegas?
The Palms was the first one.
That was Moon or
no? Moon didn't even exist. Shout out to ROB.
Rain? Which one was first?
Rain and
first.
Ghost Bar.
Okay,
Bar,
Rain. Oh,
Playboy
Ghost
Club.
Bar.
Yeah. Well, Playboy Come and Moon came
Later,
after the fact.
yeah.
But I don't remember how I even got the gig, but they called me to do the pool at the Palms. And
You were already playing Hollywood all over.
Yeah, I was playing.
all over town.
I was there that night actually.
You were there?
Yeah.
And I was on Wax, and I never played in Vegas. I don't
Played like Kokomo, I remember.
I played, well, my first
Was it
record
Kokomo?
was Frankie Lyman and the Boys, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? And ROB, who was the music director at the time, was like, I knew at that moment that I was fucking with you for as long as I was booking DJs. I was
Wow.
like, okay, tight. But yeah, that was that. And then they started bringing me into Rain because they were doing like a Thursday maybe or a Saturday.
Was AM at Rain at this
No.
time?
He was at Body English.
Okay. This is early.
Because this is I could tell you when it was. It was summer of 04 because April of 05 I got on Serato.
Wow.
Maybe it was before that. Actually, no, I'm lying to you. It might have been 01, 02.
Oh shit.
When did Crazy in Love come out? Beyonce.
Shit. Let me ask Google.
Producer.
Let me
Producer
ask,
Scratchy.
Chat GPT.
Crazy in Love. What year did that come out? I want to say 01.
Yeah, 01, 02, right?
03. Okay. So the mix was Frankie Lyman, Why Do Fools Fall in Love into Crazy in Love. So it had to be what month in 03 did it come out? May. Yeah, so it might have been summer of 03, might have been summer of 04. And then I started doing Rain a little bit. Then I started doing Ghost Bar a little bit. Then we had the Abe Froman Showman.
And that was you, Graham, Vice.
Me, you, Graham.
Obi, Cobra.
Vice, Obi, and another guy. And, no, he's fine. I have no issues with him anymore. Shout out to DJ Cobra. So we had the Abe Froman Showman.
Which was what? Just kind of like a collective.
The idea was like a party rocking open format DJ crew that we could, because to me we were stronger as when we formed Voltron than like as individuals.
Okay.
So the model that exists now, that a entity will take over, let's say, a Saturday night at a nightclub and then just rotate DJs in. That was ours.
Yeah,
we invented that. And that's no Clinton Sparks. Like, we invented that model. So
like, to give someone an example, like if you see like Scam Saturdays
was invented by the Aim Froman Showman. And so we would go to Kansas City. We would go to Arizona. We'd go all over the place. And we would own the Saturday or the Friday or the Sunday in Kansas City's example of Kansas City. And we would just rotate DJs. And the branding was Abe Froman Showman first. So everyone knew,
which came from
Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
yeah,
the sausage king of Chicago.
Yep.
And then the DJ. And it became problematic for guys that were booking DJs, more specifically guys that were booking Vice, Obi, and Five, because the Abe Froman Showman was getting more money than the booker would for Five individually. Mm-hmm. So there was an ultimatum presented. This is how I remember it. I could be wrong, but there was an ultimatum presented that was basically like, yo, you're either riding with me, booker, individual booker, or you're riding with them. And I'm not mad at anyone, but half the guys went with their individual booker, which is fine because it was safe and it was totally not took no issue with it. So the Abe Froman Showman ultimately imploded. It didn't exist anymore. And then Graham and I were like, yo, we're the coolest motherfuckers anyways, so like, let's just do our own thing. And that's where the Captains of Industry came from.
So that's how you guys formed
From
it.
the ashes, The captain's
Fuck
rose.
these guys.
The fallen.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah. I mean, we had a falling out. I had a bit of a falling out with Cobra. You know, whatever the reason was, it doesn't matter anymore. He's very successful at whatever he's doing, and I don't DJ anymore, so who gives a fuck? But I don't really DJ anymore. So Graham and I just were like,
Just Mom Bar.
just Mom Bar.
Anything you want to do for fun?
No, a bungalow. I mean, yeah, any place where I can play
Fun shit.
and I don't have to like sweat like, you know, 22-year-old managers coming to me and screaming at me about playing whatever song I'm playing.
Yeah.
I just want to have fun, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I love that.
I don't need to DJ anymore. I just want to have fun.
Yeah. Too rich.
Too rich.
Look at the watch.
I got this.
That's a John Mayer special right
I got
there.
this. I got it for free.
Yeah.
I did. I got.
That's
it for
when. But that's what rich people
got
do.
it for
They
free.
get nice gifts.
free.
That's how the rich stay rich. Get richer.
Yeah. Shout out to John Mayer for making this.
Dude, that watch is
gave you
insane
that?
right now.
$100,000 watch. No, he did a video online about like his watch collection.
Yeah.
And before
Let me see it.
That's the
before
green face Daytona.
Take it off, but
before
but
he
if
did
you
the
insist.
video, I mean it's a hard watch to get, but before but after he got the video,
Oh yeah.
it was impossible to get.
Wait, before the video it was
Wow.
like 30, 40, right?
Retail like when he did the video in 2019, I think he did the video 2019, maybe 2020. No, 2020 was COVID. 2019.
yeah.
Retail was like 38, 40
Yeah,
grand.
yeah.
Retail still 40. No,
You can get your
retail
hands on
still
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
was
Now it's a
Correct me-
$100,000 watch.
Right when he
Correct me if
posted
I'm-
it, that watch like just
Yeah,
skyrocketed.
went straight through the roof.
correct me if I'm wrong. Green face was only on anniversaries. Is that
I
right?
believe you're correct.
Might be right.
I believe
think
you're
Echo
correct.
Yeah.
has
This came out in
one,
2016.
Yeah.
so it was like an anniversary or something,
And I mean,
which makes them limited as shit already.
yeah, kind of, yeah. I mean, I'm going to geek out on watches right now real quick. So I'd wanted this for years, and I just assumed I was never going to get one. And I would go to my Rolex AD, that's the retailer, and every time I'd walk in, I'd be like, you guys got a green Daytona for me? If not, we got nothing to talk about. Every time. And everyone would have a laugh, blah, 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 ha, ha, ha. And then in March of this year, this got discontinued, and I still didn't have one.
Damn.
And I wasn't going to spend $100,000 to get one on the secondary market. So even after March, I'd still walk in and be like, you guys got a green Daytona for me?
Oh,
If
we
not,
got
we ain't got
nothing
shit
to
to talk
talk
about. And because there was a chance that Rolex still had some and the store would get, like, I had bought watches that got discontinued after the fact.
We know enough about hype to
Yeah,
like
okay.
fucking this bullshit.
So then in...
Oh, we don't have any more, but we have
Yeah.
10 in the back
They-
that
we
we
don't
might
stop making these watches.
All right, go
and
ahead.
then in July, my guy called me and was like, hey, do you like this watch? And it was another watch. And I was like, I don't know, not really. I'll come check it out though. So, and he knew I didn't like it. That's why he opened up with it. So I saw it. I was like, hey, you know what? It's better in person, but I don't think I'm going to buy it. He's like, well, I got a watch I think you're going to like. I'm
Wow.
like, okay. So he takes me to the back and he brings the box out and he opens the box and it's his watch, his personal watch. It's like a Yachtmaster or whatever. I go, you know what? I'm going to keep this until I get my fucking green Daytona. And then the assistant director of the store was like, this green Daytona? And I was like, I was
Wow.
shook.
Holy
Shook.
shit.
They said that they got it in, and other salespeople who had customers that were waiting for this watch, other salespeople were like, give it to Stone.
Wow.
Like, that dude's been waiting, give it to Stone.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I was so shook, I forgot where I parked my car. I was walking around Beverly Hills for like 30 minutes, like, where the fuck did I park my car?
Who cares? I
Like,
got to
yeah,
watch.
like where, like what
Fuck
the
the car.
fuck? So yeah, this is like I don't wear it obviously because it's LA and it's a third world country here, but like I'm not,
Yeah, shit, no
I'm not gonna
shit.
get robbed at HMC. But yeah, this is pretty special.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a beautiful
that's,
watch.
Yeah. But what the fuck were we talking about? Captains of Industry. Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
from the ashes of Avram and Showman rose the Captains of Industry, and like you know we've done some fun stuff.
No, that was like the first time where I noticed someone doing so much shit to like market
Yeah.
themselves. You guys had calendars, hats, obviously like just T-shirts and stuff, but everything was so well done. Like,
you guys kind of set the
like
standard for that.
was that
yeah.
you or Graham or both?
It was both of us. I think at the time, like, Graham says this all the time, and it's perfect, and I hate that I steal it from him because I can't come up with a better way to say it. But he says, our worldview dictates our DJing doesn't dictate our worldview. Meaning, we have so many other interests outside of DJing that it's inevitable that those interests are going to penetrate our DJing. Whether it's like the way we play or what we play or how we market ourselves. So yeah, like we did the calendar, which was
insane. It's so good. We got to post it on Instagram.
It is fucking tremendous, and it's so good. In fact, that I know people that still have it up.
I still have it.
They just insert the new year. This is from 2012, so this is 11 years. They still have the calendar up, and they just put a new date thing on there.
That's funny.
But yeah, that was influenced by Graham, I believe. His senior thesis in school for his master's degree was something about blaxploitation films. So every month on our calendar looked like the cover of a blaxploitation like movie poster.
Yeah.
And the holidays we'd choose to showcase in the imagery was not like the usual ones. So like April was like tax day, and it was an image of us like blowing up the IRS building. And then June was Pride, and we recreated like the spirit of '76 imagery with like the people marching with the flags, but it's like it looks like a gay parade, and we have like a pug with like a gag ball in his mouth, and S&M like leather shit. Like it's wild. But this is all stuff from our brain.
Yeah.
Like we come up with it. The way it works with us is it's usually a really bad idea, and then we sit on it for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, a week, whatever, and then we just like chisel away at it, and we try to make it a good idea.
Do you think aside from you guys at that time being super busy on your own and DJing everywhere from Vegas to LA to wherever, but do you think the stuff you guys invested in to brand and market yourselves, do you think that helped that duo get booked everywhere?
I think that,
because I think it did.
I think there's two things happening. One was like, these guys are really interesting. They're doing some fun stuff, and they're a good time, and they know how to DJ. Like, let's have them play. And the flip coin of it was,
they're too weird.
These guys are too weird, but they're real popular, and people like them, and they get booked. So let's get them over here and see what happens. And that's usually like the middle of the country, where they don't like dudes in Speedos. And then we show up, and they're like, oh, these guys aren't actually that fucking
actually normal,
weird.
but they're just funny
guys.
It's
they just
a personality thing.
Yeah, and I think it's like, some of it's like shock value, some of it's like, oh, this is just a good idea. Like when we did the chapstick.
Yeah,
the capstick.
So good.
And it was a chapstick that said capstick, a stick for your lips. And like at the time, when anything that was like slightly homosexual was not taken well, we were just like pushing it. We didn't give a fuck.
Well, like the mixtape covers, right?
The mixtape covers are so fucking gay. Like the first one that we did in 2008, like we're dressed up like construction workers, but like,
and you're naked.
But yeah, but like village people, construction
Men
workers.
at work.
Like Graham has his shirt open, and he's wearing like some Daisy Dukes. I'm wearing a tool belt, and my ass cheek is hanging out because I'm only wearing a tool belt and nothing else, and like some boots. The second one, mixtape cover, we didn't do anything. The third one, Mosh Trabajo, is my feet and Graham's feet intertwined, poking out of the end of the cover in bed. And the back of the CD is Graham smoking a cigarette in bed, and me like passed out as if we just got done fucking. Like we definitely were aware that there was going to be conversations, good and bad, around the stuff that we were doing. And at the end of the day, like, for a long time, people thought we were gay, like we were fucking, or I was gay because he had a girlfriend. And I didn't do anything to dismiss or confirm their thoughts. because I just let the thing go forever.
And the bookings skyrocketed.
And the booking skyrocketed. Pride Chicago, Pride New York. No. But it was confusing. It was compelling. Like people like wanted to know more. Like, I mean, I'm sure there were.
I thought it was genius.
I'm sure there were a lot of.
Obviously, I knew you, so both of you,
And
and I knew you guys' sense of humor.
Yeah, that's
but I
like-
couldn't see how other people that didn't know you guys were like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, like what is it? Like what are these dudes? What the fuck are these dudes doing? Like what? Like how?
Yeah,
How
no,
can
this is
this?
so
like,
good.
Who's putting this out? And yeah, so that was. I mean, that was it. Now you know you got to be a little bit more sensitive to this kind of stuff because we weren't making fun of anyone or like poking fun of like how people are living, but we were just creating a conversation. But now you know people might think you're making fun of them. So the last mixtape cover, Uno Mas, was we ripped off the Roberto Duran. Sugar Ray Leonard? I think it was Sugar Ray Leonard. They did their promo shoots for one of their fights for the Uno Mas fight.
Oh, I get it.
Was
the No
them,
Mas
yeah. And then so you know, but yeah, it's all like everything stems from like a really shitty idea, and then we just try to make a diamond out of it. Even like the mixes on our mixtapes. I'll say like, oh, what about this? He's like, no. They go, let me just work it. Like, give me 5 minutes to work this. And then he's like listening to me, like, you know, tooling. He's like, well, okay, what if we do it like this? And then it ends up becoming something sometimes.
Did you guys ever disagree on stuff?
We disagree on shit all the time. We've never had a fight, which is really strange because of the amount of hours that we spent together and how different we are in so many aspects of our life, like the way he eats and the way I eat.
Yeah.
Like he is very, very particular. But
What does he eat?
Bread.
he eats
Just
13
bread.
things, and he'll deny this,
Well,
but
his
he
brother
eats
is a
13
fucking
things.
chef.
But like he never, not one time ever, had he ever imposed his limited palate onto like me and
No, he'll find something to
He'll
eat
find-
always.
In fact, to such an extent, he wanted to go to some restaurant in New York because the chef was on the Iron Chef show.
Yeah.
And she was like cute. And he's like, maybe I'll see her. Maybe we'll catch a vibe, like whatever. And I'm like, all right, let's go. Fuck it.
Who was it?
I don't remember now. I tried to remember. I couldn't remember. She's got some famous family like Hearst or something, a Hearst family or something. I don't know. Who knows if she's still a chef? Anyway, so we go to this restaurant. It's me, him, and someone else. And like I'm looking at the menu. I'm like, there's nothing for Graham to eat. And there isn't even a
like
plain
foie gras,
fucking
like
French
fucking-
fry. Like that guy will order some French fries. Like the French fries are even fucked up. So I order, the other guy we're with orders, and Graham's like, I'm good, I'll just have a Diet Coke. And even the Diet Coke was fucked up because the Diet Coke was, I think it was Mexican Coke or something. Like he didn't like it. Like even the Diet Coke was fucked up.
Jesus.
So, or no, maybe it was maybe because he doesn't like it when they don't refill your Diet Coke. Like if they charge you per Diet Coke. So maybe that's what it was. But anyways, so he's like, I'll be right back. So he dips out. And, you know, I'm with the other guy. We're talking, we're eating, whatever. And then he comes back. I was like, yo, where the fuck did you go? Like,
You want to go eat down the street?
He went and caught a slice, like, down the block. Ate because he knew right after we were going. But, like, anyone else would be like, I can't eat here. We got to catch a slice before we go to the next spot.
Yeah,
but he's
yeah.
like, I'm not going to inconvenience these guys. So I'm going to go catch a fucking slice. And
Did he meet the chef?
No, she wasn't even there. She wasn't even there. She wasn't even there.
So he was just bummed.
Yeah, he was just like,
What
what a fucking waste.
So Graham's brother is a famous chef now, Evan.
Yeah.
And at Funky or at Felix,
Yeah.
he would have to make him, what is it, like a side of tomato sauce, pasta?
Graham likes his shit very simple, so he just tells his brother, like, just make me the thing. And he also refuses to accept like the fistful of spaghetti. He wants like a full bowl of spaghetti. Like, don't give me like the Hollywood size of spaghetti. Like, give me the real shit.
Yeah, give me the big shit.
But yeah, he's, you know,
The
creature of habit.
Cheesecake Factory portion.
yeah, he likes what he likes. But yeah, we've never gotten into a fight, and I think it's like it's a healthy relationship because even when we disagree, we both have so much respect for each other and each other's opinion that we'll hear each other out, and either I get to him or he gets to me, or we figure out in the middle. because like at the end of the day, like none of this shit matters. We're fucking playing other people's hit records.
Yeah.
Like how serious can it be?
Yeah.
I mean, those mixes came out fucking amazing. You know?
There are people. The only issue that might have hurt us when we released them is some of the songs were old.
But now those songs are big again.
Well, now people are still listening to our mixtape from 2008.
Yeah.
Right? Like people are like still hitting me like, yo, this still bangs.
Yeah.
So because it took us so long to make these mixtapes, because we spent so much time doing these things for no other reason than we just didn't want to hear it from anyone. The first one is shit. The first one was the first time I ever made a mixtape. It's the first time I ever worked on like Ableton or anything. There was tricks that we just weren't aware of. So the first one I wish I could redo, but I'll never redo it. The second one is pretty flawless. Mas Trabajo is flawless. Uno Mas is flawless. The Yacht Rock mix has one snare that I wish I could redo. If you find it, shout out to you. But yeah, pretty much they're fucking flawless because that's how we put out products, whether it's the calendar, the capstick. We did a bag of airplane nuts, and we had nuts for your mouth. Whatever we did, the New Era hats, like we could have put our logo on any fucking hat, but we waited until we got the New Era 5950 that no one could get.
That was really tough to get.
Yeah, and I mean, I still can't. If you have a New Era plug, please holler at me because I want 950 snapbacks. But yeah, I want to put them on snapbacks now because like trying to organize like what hat size are you? Like everyone's like, oh, I want a hat.
Really
like
tough.
Our friend David has been asking for a hat for years. And I'm like, dude, walk into what hat size are you? I don't know. I'm the third clip on the third button on the thing. I'm like, dude, walk into Lids, try on hats, figure out which size you are, tell me what size you are, and I'll give you the fucking hat. Years. And then he finally got us a size, and I gave him the hat a month ago.
Yeah.
Dude, we happen to have one, but I want to put them on snapbacks because people keep asking like, where are the hats? And snapbacks are just.
I have one dead stock somewhere at my parents' house.
It's going to be worth some money one day. When I die, it's going to be worth some money.
They're dope hats,
when
man.
you're 90.
Yeah.
And at one point, I want to say, I think I came over to your place one time, and you were showing me a hat, and it had like the Red Bull logo.
That was the New Era hat.
That was it. And you got them to pay for it.
We got signed to the Red Bull DJ team, Graham and I, which consisted of Vice, Jazzy Jeff, Mick Boogie, who's now Mick.
There's a few other people.
Me, Graham,
Tony,
Tina T.
Tony Arzadon was on it, I think.
Tony Arzadon, Jesse Marco.
And this pre Red Bull 3 style.
This pre-Red Bull 3 style. The idea was to make the DJ Dream Team that they could send out to venues as like an added bonus.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for riding with us. Here's Jazzy Jeff show. Thanks for riding us. Or your contract's coming up soon. Please re-sign with us. Here's the captains of industry, and then they don't sign with Red Bull. It's like, who are these fucking weirdos? But that was the thing. And they took us to X Games.
Yeah. And they gave you guys budget to do.
They gave us budget. So they paid us a shit ton of money to DJ. Sometimes empty rooms, which was a bummer, but we got a lot of money. The flights were always on point. The car service was always on point. It was like the best gigs ever. And they gave us a massive budget to do stuff, like a marketing budget. They're like, figure out what you want to do. The first thing we said, Graham and I said, because we had been trying to get New Era for years, we're like, we want New Era hats. And they were like, you guys are signing with like a $6 billion company or however many billions of dollars they have, and you want hats? So we're like, get the hats done, and then we'll talk about how we're going to spend the rest of the money. New Era, Red Bull went to New Era, and they're like, hey, we got these DJs. We want to do New Era hats for them. And New Era was like, no.
Really?
We don't do boutique brands.
Oh,
and
like
we sent them. We sent them.
You guys boutique or Red Bull?
Called us boutique, and then we sent an email with like 15 boutique brands that they did, and we're like, please try again.
Yeah.
And then we ended up getting it.
Wow.
And for some reason, the Red Bull logo ended up on the hat under the lid, which in the office was a big deal because they were like, the Red Bull logo doesn't go on anything. The only hat that has a Red Bull logo on it was for Travis Pastrana, that guy.
But he wears like a big Red Bull logo.
Yeah, well,
right? No.
Yeah, maybe they were just talking about like a little call to Red Bull. It was either him or Shaun White, someone massive. So I was like, yeah, Shaun White and the captains, duh. But it was a big deal. that there was a Red Bull logo on it. So, yeah. So we got Red Bull. We got Red Bull to do the hats, and then they paid for the calendar because the calendar was like 20 grand.
Holy shit.
We were in the early stages of building a DJ booth that can travel with us, that looked like the front of a boat.
Wow.
So it would break down.
That.
And then I don't remember why that didn't happen. Yeah, we did belt buckles. We did brass belt buckles.
Whose idea was it to take it as like a whole like sailor like thing?
Great question. So,
because obviously the term captains of industry isn't
it exists
just a sailor thing.
Yeah, it
it's more for any
it's
industry.
Business. It's business. We post Abe Froman Showman, I believe. Our friend Reggie McDonald used to own a bar.
Oh yeah, I remember
restaurant
Reggie.
Tokyo. Remember Tokyo?
Yeah.
On Cahuenga, and they had like a private.
Yeah, I remember that.
They had a private dining room in the back. So Reggie was like, "Yo, come DJ, like bring people, come DJ on Monday nights, and then I'll give you dinner for whoever you want." So we're like, "All right, we want the private dining room." So we used to call the dinner the koi pond, the captains of industry pond. So we'd have like writers, directors, music people, DJs, teachers, whoever, anyone who was like good at the thing that they did, they would come to this dinner. So that was that we just.
I never got invited.
In passing, we call. Well, you weren't on top of your shit back then.
No. What year was this?
I'm kidding. So in passing, we just like it was a throwaway, like the koi pond, like the captains of industry pond. Then we started our own booking agency, our own management company, and we called that the koi pond because we were we coined ourselves the captains of industry, and then the koi pond became the management company. I don't
remember the koi pond actually.
I remember that. Yeah.
The nautical theme, the koi pond came after Abe Froman Showman, because part of the thing with Abe Froman Showman was going to be like a booking entity. But anyways, so the nautical thing was just because like he's into nautical stuff, I'm into nautical stuff, he's into pirates, I'm into pirates. Like it was, again, our worldview dictates our DJing doesn't dictate our worldview. So it wasn't like a play on captain. It was like, yo, we're into this shit. Like we're into sailing.
This is your shit.
Like he
loves pipes.
He loves pipes. Yeah. Like, he wears the captain's hat when he would DJ, like pre even before the captain's shit. It was just this thing. So it was just like an organic thing, and I kind of hate that people think it was like, oh, it's captain, so you guys are it's like a shtick. It's not like it's really how we roll. So then we had the koi pond, the management company, and we put on a bunch of guys, and we were booking a bunch of guys, and then that ended up being Graham and I working too much on the koi pond and not enough on the captains of industry.
You guys had DJ signed?
We had DJ signed.
Who?
Adam 12.
Oh shit.
Bobby French, White Shadow, Ross One, Cheap Shot, Marshall Barnes.
I saw Cheap Shot last night.
I just had breakfast with him a little while ago.
Nice.
Not breakfast.
He's a good guy for you to eat with. Doesn't eat anything.
This guy's the best.
Fucking skinny as shit too.
Evil One.
Damn.
We were stacked.
That's a nice squad.
Yeah, we were stacked.
So who ran your guys' business?
So we had a third partner that handled the booking stuff.
A female?
Yeah.
I remember. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Tao Dipolito.
Okay.
Tao, yep.
No. For some reason, just hearing koi pond didn't like ring a bell, but now I remember this whole.
And we applied the same model that the Abe Froman Showman were doing. We did that there because the roster was so fucking tight that you could send anyone to do anything. And the real reason why the roster, even the management company, booking agency, whatever you want to call it, even came to fruition was Graham and I were so fucking busy and we were farming out work to our homies. We're like, well, let's just make this like a crew. And then that's how that happened.
I admire you guys are really good at executing, because I have a lot of ideas too, and I don't make anything happen.
I would say
HMC was supposed to be a DJ agency for like 15 years,
and then Sujit said niche.
No, he could have been involved. Like it wasn't even like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
like I said, it was a lot of work, and we were not focusing on the stuff that was making us dope, that was getting the gigs, that was feeding everyone else. We were working on the business of, and it became a problem. So we basically left. We gave Tao the koi pond, and then we went to another booking agency, which was
Tao worked at Playboy, right?
She worked at Playboy before, and then I think she was like maybe consulting for them after.
Yeah, I remember this.
But yeah, we went to another booking agency that fucking sucked. Then we left them and we went to another booking agency that fucking sucked. And then we went with another guy. Then we tried to do it ourselves again.
I want to touch on that because the DJs love hearing agency stuff.
Okay,
you don't have to say names or even stories, but like what made your experience bad with an agency? Because some people think that's like, oh, I need to be on. I don't get gigs, so I don't have an agent, or I ain't shit.
The agent, and the man. I mean, the manager. If you have a manager, if you're like a known entity, like if you're Diplo and you have a manager, your manager
with the agent.
Your manager will create opportunities for you.
Right.
The agent is a glorified fucking secretary. You're basically paying someone to answer the phone. If you don't have people calling, you don't need an agent. Mm-hmm. The agent happens when you're so fucking busy that you cannot answer one more fucking phone call, or it becomes so crazy between DJing, buying records, organizing sets, traveling, this, that, the other, that you cannot organize a calendar, invoices. Like you need the person to handle.
I think
stuff
people think they have to have an agency, and I know people that join agencies and they DJ the exact same parties they've always done, except they're making less money
because they're giving up the dough,
but they get nothing else.
It's like anything else.
They think they have to be.
It's like anything else. The guy that invented Scrub Daddy, the sponge that has the
Shark Tank.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
The guy that invented that, he did not say, okay, here's my sponge. Now I'm going to go to wherever to
Bed Bath
and Beyond.
I couldn't say it.
He had to sell a lot of Scrub Daddies out of his fucking trunk or out of his garage, do it himself until it got so much that he couldn't. The business was suffering. So now you go hire one person to handle some tasks.
Wait, that's the shit with the happy face on
it?
Yeah.
And then it's any business. There's very few businesses that start off like on fire, heavily funded. So DJing is no different. Like you have to start off small and take incremental steps. And then once there's
from a $50 gig free to 25 to 50 to 100.
And that's what I tell everyone. Everyone's like, oh, I'm new to DJing. Like, what should I do? Now the rules might have changed, but maybe not. I used to say, take every fucking gig. Yeah, because you never know what that $50 gig will lead to.
Yeah.
If you have an open night, fill it.
Dude, I remember these don't exist anymore, but like actual physical flyers.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood I grew up, like all the local parties.
Beverly Hills.
No, in Carson, so South Bay, like Wilmington parties, whatever, like all, even in like Hawthorne and Lawndale, like all just that area.
Yeah.
It was just every house party and all these party crews, it was a flyer. And like, I remember me and a good friend of mine, Danny Dice, we started getting on couple flyers. We would throw our own parties in his backyard just to be on the flyer.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
We started doing little local parties, and then I was like, yo, my goal is to be on every single flyer anyone sees.
Because that's the currency.
I still have all my flyers, but I tell you what, I was on every flyer to the point where I was getting booked because I was on every flyer. So people are like, yo, they must be the
hottest
dudes.
DJs.
They're the hottest DJs.
That was the currency.
They're on every flyer. Yeah. So that was it, bro.
Yeah. So, and I get it. Like, everyone sees like, well, first of all, 99% of everything that you see on the Instagram or whatever, it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's not right.
All of it.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
No one's making as much money as you think they are. No one's gigs are as cool as you fucking think they are. Most people are fucking grinding. Most people are grinding, including you guys. I'm sure you guys have gigs that fucking suck.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Okay, so like not every
some for me.
Not every gig is makes you a ton of money. Like
no,
you cannot compare what you're doing to what you see, because everyone's putting their best foot forward, right? No one's gonna be like, oh, my fucking car broke down, my life sucks. Oh, I can't pay my rent. Like no one's putting that on Instagram. They're putting their best shit.
Yeah.
So the comparison, like you can't rely on that to be your barometer. Like that just can't be it. And then also just do you, like just do whatever makes you happy at whatever pace it happens organically. DJing was never going to be a career for me. I don't think it was going to be a career for you. None of us thought, like, when I was 18, 19, 20, I was like, I don't want to be DJing when I'm 30. You fucking crazy? Like,
or you didn't think it'd buy you a green face Rolex?
Well, DJing didn't buy me a green face Rolex, but DJing did get me to a spot where I can network. I can use my network to do things that allow me to get a green face Rolex.
And we'll talk about your transition. But
so yeah, DJing back then was not a true career path because there was no money, it wasn't sustainable, etc., etc. Now I still don't believe it's a career path because I don't know where I said this.
Now it's kind of like oversaturated.
Well, I just said this somewhere. I don't remember if it's a podcast or if it was a conversation. If you want to be a famous DJ now, you're not DJing. Yeah. You're marketing, you're advertising, you're doing social media, you're doing content, you're learning how to cut things, cut videos, this, that, and that. You're not doing a lot of DJing. And if you want to DJ, you're not going to be a famous DJ because you're spending too much time DJing. So you have to choose. What do you want to do? And if you are willing to put the effort into becoming a famous DJ, learning how to market, learning how to do advertising, learning how to buy shit online, learning how to do social media, learning how to make content, cut content, what content works, blah, blah, blah. Why would you apply it to DJing? You can do anything else. You can literally do anything. Why the fuck
I feel like
would
there's people out there that can do all that though? Like,
and be a great DJ?
I think they don't work on being great DJs. They work more on like production.
Yeah,
because like they're going into producing and like
maybe, but I feel like those guys also have they have underlings producing for them. There's no time. There's no time to learn how to DJ. Yeah. And also, everyone is in such a fucking rush because at 30 years old, your life is over. No one takes the time to learn because it takes years to fucking learn how to DJ. It's
most of the biggest
a month.
Most of the highest paid EDM DJs are artists and producers that just so happen they needed to learn how to DJ to make money because that's where the money is.
Well, to learn,
they want. Most of those guys, bro, don't even like clubs. They love being in the studio making music. They're producers. I want to be a producer
because we're all introverts.
Money's on the road. Money's on tour, and they had like shit. I got to learn how to DJ, or else I can't make the money that I need to make. And that's how they make money from DJing. But they're not DJs. The way we started buying records, one record at a time, and we never thought we'd make money, but somehow things started happening, and I want to talk because you were there for the early.
You still got your records?
I have like probably 30% of my collection.
You still got your records?
Maybe less.
I got like 85% of them.
Let me know when you guys want to sell your records.
No,
like
there's actually a demand for them.
No, I keep them. I still buy records. I still have my records. I still buy records.
So it's funny because I buy records now.
Yeah.
But I buy. So this is the thing. I sold my collection. I used to work at a record store, and I sold it to the owner, Rick, because I was moving a lot, and it was a headache. So, and I knew Serato was just the future, and I got rid of it, and I sold it for what I thought was good money. I probably got screwed, but not that he screwed me. Sure. I just was anxious to get rid of it. Yeah. So I got rid of it. I kept a few. But now what's fun, and Five knows, like I go record shopping almost like weekly now. Yeah. And I buy what I want to buy. And what I'm buying is like not even shit I wanted back then.
Jazz
like
records.
Just jazz records or sample breaks and stuff. And or even like finding a hip hop sample that I always wanted and couldn't find. It's so easy to find in the 99-cent bin nowadays. Yeah, it's like, so fun. Shit, like fucking.
It's so fun buying records. I still do it. I enjoy it.
It's dude, I love buying records. Yeah. But no, so I want to talk. Earlier, I mentioned I wanted to get into some AM stories because I feel like this is around the era where money started coming in, and it's like, okay, we can really make money off this.
Money went up because of him. Money went up because of him in our line of work, in our like blue collar. Like we're just working stiffs, playing other people's records, open format. Like our money went up because of him.
Pre-Vegas, Hollywood AM. Were you in the Hollywood scene at the time? Were you seeing money yet or not yet?
I was okay. So this is
because I don't think I met you till like
I think
your
we met
early
like,
Vegas days.
Yeah, Vegas is when
like when I got to Power type shit, like 04.
So when I started DJing in the 90s, I was playing everything. Hip hop,
that's
disco.
So I explained this on the last pod. I was like, "Yo, there wasn't a such thing as an open format DJ. We were just a DJ
at that time."
No, but it was just a DJ.
Yeah, but at that time, in nightclubs, you were either playing all forms of electronic music.
See, I wasn't in nightclubs at the time.
It was all forms of electronic music or hip hop. Yeah. That's it.
And you were like, if you were the DJ, you were the hip hop DJ. Like I was like considered a hip hop DJ. Like
you just played hip hop.
See, I grew up in an era where I was seeing house party DJs, wedding DJs,
and they play everything. Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be a DJ. So and I had 90s, a freestyle set of this set of that set.
In the 90s, at least in like the nightclub, like the popular nightclubs. That makes sense.
I just wasn't in clubs at the time, but it makes sense.
In the popular
disco
nightclubs,
DJs.
That's what was happening. I'm sure there was a disco party and an 80s party or whatever, but like those were smaller rooms. So when I would start playing in these nightclubs, I would play everything, and then I'd get fired because they're like, "Why are you playing this old rap song? Or why are you playing this 80s record? Why are you playing this rock record?" And I was just getting fired, and I'm just like, you know what? Like, fuck these guys. Like, they don't know that what I'm doing is right, because all I'm doing is offering a wider buffet of music, right? Like, it's not just a salad bar. We have deli meats, and we have chicken, and we have fish, and we have all kinds of crab legs, cheese plates, all the delicious treats that you want. I have them for you.
A dessert bar.
So then early 2000s, open format became a thing, and all those same people that were firing me started hiring me because they knew I can do that. So when the
how did you break into clubs early before that era anyway?
So the first time I DJ'd, the first time I got paid to DJ, the first time I DJ'd in a nightclub was at the Roxbury, OG Roxbury, which is now Pink Taco, because Cool Whip let me get on. He's like, come run a set.
Wow.
And I did not run a proper nightclub set at all.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to.
But it was not because of that. I was on some like really heady, like it was like big West Coast, East Coast beef tension at that time. So I was running like Get Money and then like the Pac version, and then like like I was like trying to like school people, and no one's trying to get schooled. So, but it was fine. Like I didn't clear the dance floor or whatever, but it was definitely way headier than it needed to be. So that was the first time I DJ'd in a nightclub, and Cool Whip was like, "Yo, that was dope. Like, awesome. I think I played like 30 minutes or something, whatever." I was 17.
Wow.
Oh shit.
17 or 18. And then the first time I got paid to DJ was at a lounge called Guys, which was next door to
of course,
Jerry's Famous Deli.
Oh yeah.
And it was
which
called
is now
Guys.
Peppermint Club.
Now it's Peppermint Club. It was called Guys not because it was a gay club, but because the owner, Guy Starkman, that was like his hangout. And it was a small room that was only open for private events.
So it was Guys and then went to Guys and Dolls?
It was Guys and Dolls. I think it went back to Guys.
Yeah.
And then something, and then Peppermint Lounge.
Yes. What was it before Peppermint?
I don't remember.
I don't remember now.
Something, but yeah.
Yeah. So so I went there for a private party, and I was probably 19 at this point, and the DJ there was like not good. Not that I was great, but I was like, this is not good. Like, you're not mixing, you're not, like, this is not good. So the next day I went to the Yellow Pages because I didn't have the internet. This is 97, 98. I went through the Yellow Pages to look for places that would print me business cards quick near my house. So I found a spot. I went in. I like made some business cards, and then I went back to the spot. I went to Jerry's, and I was like, "Who's the manager of the spot next door?" And they're like, "Oh, this guy. God, what was his name?" It was Warren and Billy Friedman. Shout out to Billy Friedman. And it's like, Billy, and I was like, "Okay, where's Billy?" He's like, "Well, he's there right now." So I knocked on the door. It was like 6, 7 p.m. or whatever. And I was like, "Yo, man, I was here last night. The DJ was kind of whack. If you ever want a dope DJ, let me know." And I gave him my card.
Wow.
Like, my card that I printed that fucking day. So he was like, all right. So I dipped. And then like a week later, he's like, yo, I got a gig for you, but you have to bring your own equipment, turntables and mixer. And I can only pay you in Jerry's Famous Deli gift certificates.
Wow.
Shit.
$300.
Oh,
Wow.
And he's thinking in his head, he's like, I'm getting over on this kid. I'm gonna give him $300 in gift certificates. And I'm thinking, yo, that's so many fucking dates. Like that's so many dates. Like let's do this. So I did that party, and then for years I was only DJing at Guys. Like I was their guy. Like they would have Guys guy.
You were Guys
and
guy.
Billy would be like, someone would have a private party, and like we have a DJ, and he'd be like, well, I kind of have the best DJ in town.
Wow.
Like he's cheap and like he's fucking great. And
DJs for matzo balls.
basically. And well, no, after that I started getting
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
started
say,
getting
so you
paid.
started
It
getting
wasn't,
paid.
it wasn't Jerry's for forever. It was just the
Okay,
one time.
okay,
It was just
okay,
the one time. But it was still like $150, $200,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, it was big money then.
That's really good money back
So
then.
yeah, because I'm like 18, 19, like
Yeah.
bro,
you're killing it.
Yeah, swimming in dough.
Yeah. So then, so for years I was cutting my teeth working there, and then I do like a gig here, a gig there, like open for someone or whatever, and then from that, because the parties that were happening there were some like pretty high level exclusive people in there, like important people.
So the thing that doesn't exist no more. Like those,
It does, but
those
it's so
Hollywood
scene,
insulated.
It's so insulated.
I feel like
There's a few
like
homies that
real
still do those
celebrities want to
parties,
do like
yeah.
super private member type shit.
It's because of
Social media.
It's because of social
Social,
media. It's
yeah.
because of camera phones. It's because of bottle service.
Yeah.
But anyways, people were going to Guys that worked for HBO, that worked for ESPN, that worked for this, and then I started doing private parties for those people.
Wow.
So I was on that trajectory before I even like started popping in nightclubs. And then, but I would still like take the $50 gig or open for me for free or close for me or do the 30 minutes. I'd still do that shit even though I was making money.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what something people are like too prideful in doing, man. Because I tell that story all the time. Like I was doing very well in LA, primetime radio, best station in LA, and like still took a.
Were you at the beat?
To go,
I'm just kidding.
I still took a cut to go open for Vice at Tao in Vegas.
Yeah, and it paid off.
It paid off in the long run. Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, like pride is a motherfucker. That will bite you in the ass 99 out of 100 times.
yeah, 100%.
And I would go out on a limb and say 99 out of 100 times, if you can get over it, it'll pay dividends in some way.
Yeah, and then how did the big money? How
Are
did
they
you
here
go
for a
from-
podcast?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be
twins.
waiting a long motherfucking time. Because we're in 1999 right now.
We're in 1999. Shout out to
What
the
up?
D twins just walked in. Wait, so you're doing all these corporate parties,
Yeah.
which is dough already.
Yeah, it was good dough. I mean, I wasn't like thousands of dollars, but like, you know, $500, $400, $600, $700. Back then was like, it could have been, might as well have been $1 million.
And that's still
that's
a
true.
local pay, like,
Yeah.
you know. In
Yeah. That's
cities,
more than
like,
that's more than what people were getting in nightclubs, like to be the guy in the nightclub. But I still wanted to be in the nightclub.
Yeah.
So I did what I had to do to get in there, and then I got in there. But yeah, so all the guys, once open format became a thing, that's where I could thrive. The private events is where I was going to
So
thrive.
when you were doing private and clubs, was AM doing the Hollywood stuff?
Yeah, he
like
was
the
definitely-
celebrity stuff.
He was doing his thing. In fact, the way that we became friends, I don't remember what year it was, but it might have been late 90s, early 2000s. Probably late 90s because I was still at Guys. A girl came up to me and was like, hey, can you... And I was aware of him and I had heard him play and like I knew what he did. And this girl was like, can you play... Oh, I was playing some record and she was like, oh, play this next. And I go, oh, no, another guy does that. And she was like, yeah, AM. And I go, yeah, that's his thing. Like,
yeah. That's
I'm
his
going
mix.
to do my thing. And she's like, well, I don't understand. Like, just play the fucking song. And I was like, no. That's his thing, and I'm going to do my thing. I was aware. I had enough awareness to be like, I'm not going to do what someone else does.
Yeah.
So then she went to him and was like, you know this guy Stone? And he was like, no. She's like, yeah, fuck this guy. Like, he was playing, and I wanted him to play this song into that song, but he wouldn't do it. And he was like, well, why? She was like, because he said that was your thing. And he was like, I want to meet this guy.
Wow.
And that's how we became
He's not a
homies.
bugger.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was like, this guy knows what's up.
Yeah.
And that's how we became homies. And
Wow,
then
that's crazy.
And like and he was doing the super open format thing because he was playing for like the super A-list stuff. And you had to do that because you literally had Jay-Z, Mick Jagger, you know, George Bush, like all types of people in a nightclub that you'd have to make them all happy. You couldn't just play electronic music or hip hop music.
Do you know how he broke in that scene? Like early on?
I think that was like the circle he was in, right?
Yeah, he was
like,
just in that mix because like he was touring with Crazy Town. He was their tour DJ. He was sober and like he was working for Brent and Jen and they were sober. So like that's a tight community. I think he just kind of like got put on organically. Like it was an organic thing.
Got it.
But Brent was like the one though, like that was getting all those parties.
Yeah. He was the one doing all that stuff. So, and now they own Bungalow.
Yeah.
100 years later, they're still doing it.
Crazy.
But yeah, so he was doing the open format thing, and when I would hear him play, and I was still getting fired, I'm like, I know I'm doing the right thing because if this guy can do it, I should be able to do it.
Right.
And when it came full circle and it became the thing to do, then I was like light years ahead of everyone who's trying to pivot, like trying to find the records and like how do I play the records and all that. I got in because like you didn't have to play catch up with me.
I remember my first like early days going to like Hollywood and carrying Vice's crates and hearing like these sets, and he was, you know, influenced by AM and stuff, and I was just like, yo, like what is going on? Like I never seen people bounce genres like that. Obviously I wasn't going to clubs much anyway, but the clubs I was doing were like, you know, La Mirage and like stuff like in different areas.
But you could probably have more fun at those spots than you could have at the spots in LA that were only restricting you to electronic music and hip hop.
Well, you mean today?
No, back then.
Back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back then it was very West Coast rap.
Yeah.
The shit
but
I was playing.
Vice's style changed a lot though when he started like running with AM too. So
You had to.
Yeah.
You had to.
Yeah.
I
I
was
would
doing
hear him.
my first gig with them. I went with them to National.
Yeah. Was that the Monday or Tuesday?
It's like a Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. Yeah. National. I remember that.
Yeah, that was dope, man. I was like,
dude, I used to go.
He took that from Graham.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, Graham was
Graham was National.
But Reggie used to run
he was
National,
the king of National.
I do remember
the owner
that.
of National was Rick Calamaro, R.I.P. Rick Calamaro.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Rick Calamaro, the promoters would come in and they'd be like, "Oh, we have our DJ," and Rick would be like, "I'll give your guy 1 week. If I don't like him, my guy comes back in." And Graham would work all of the nights except Tuesday night because of Vice. Because Vice could hold it down.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about. Well, I want to hear your just because I'm fresh off the documentary again. I want to hear like a really good AM story. The one you just said was pretty good though.
Yeah, I mean, how we became friends is
yeah, because I knew like I was friends with him on, was it Friendster or Facebook? Damn, we're
back then it was probably Friendster.
So I used to see you, Kevy Kev, Mike B.
Yeah,
was in the and then I was just like, damn, these guys like. It's like this Hollywood crew is like so dope. Like,
yeah, we were tight.
You guys were like the fucking Hollywood vamps before they, you know, after obviously they were way earlier, but we hanging out at the Rainbow Room.
I could tell you AM stories. I mean, I don't know. I'd prefer not to talk about him.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's talk early Vegas. How did you break into Vegas?
I told you I played the Palms Pool,
but how did you get in?
Frankie Lyman. That was it. I have no idea how I got the gig. Okay. Probably because
I think it was Abe Froman Showman stuff early, right? And then because Graham got in.
Abe Froman was a Vegas thing or LA or everything?
Well, it was everywhere. It was all over the country.
Got it.
But I think it was Graham.
Graham was doing 40 Deuce.
Went to 40 Deuce.
Yeah,
dude. I forgot. I would play Rum Jungle or some shit, and then mob over, and just to hear like Graham go crazy on like a hyphy set, because this is like the hyphy movement was so big, and he was like he took pride in his hyphy set, and he would just like run it back just for us, because it was already, you know, I'd get in there at 4 a.m. and he's still going.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it was like
it's like everyone go. I think we all started going there. Like Vice was, you know, doing the Residencies. He was doing Body English.
It might have been post.
I think it was like, and then AM, and then I think Rob was the one looking for like another, like like DJ. ROB. So I think he started like, reaching out. I think like you were part of AM Squad in a way.
Yeah, maybe.
And then he started like bringing out like, you and like.
And they paid me in casino chips.
No way.
That first gig.
Terrible.
It was fucking sick. I was like, yes, no taxes.
Well,
unless you
gamble it and win big,
and then I was like,
good old days.
Every gig after that, I was like, I'm getting casino chips, right? They're like, no, we're gonna give you chicks. I was like, no, give me casino chips. They're like, no, just for the first one, like a little flex or whatever.
Dude, the Hard Rock used to pay me, they just pay me like whatever, like the next Friday I come back. But you used to be able to cash the checks at the cage.
On the spot. Yep. I did the same thing.
I probably lost every check for like a month.
I did the same thing.
You still do.
I did the same thing.
All right.
So
I wanna
the Palms pool was the first entry to Vegas, and then hey dog, sit down, sit. I got my dog. He's whining. Stanley, sit.
Is he fasting?
Down. No. And then I started working at the Palms. I started doing Rain. Ghost Bar occasionally. Oh yeah, we definitely did an Abe Froman Showman event at Ghost Bar.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And at Rain, because we remember they wrote that article in like 944 or something.
Yeah, and the photo shoot was at 40 Deuce.
The photo shoot was in the hallway at Rain.
Oh yeah.
And then we did like the magazine release in Ghost Bar.
Ghost Bar, yeah.
Yeah. And the timeline's all fucked up. But yes, and then I'd pick up a gig here and pick up a gig there. We played together. Didn't we play together at like V Bar or something for the thing at Magic with Lord Sear?
No. You were playing at Risque, and I showed up with Lord Sear.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's the first time we met.
Okay.
And then
then that predates Abe Froman.
Yeah,
Showman.
the timeline's way off.
So then maybe that was my first gig.
That's what happens when you do a podcast while fasting. You don't fucking have
no.
Can't think.
My brain is firing right now.
Okay.
No caffeine.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, and then like I got romanced over to Jet. They tried to steal me from the Palms, and then they didn't want to pay me. They wanted to pay me less to be exclusive to them, and I was like, why would I do that?
Yeah,
they're like,
what?
Well, we're going to give you two nights. I go, that still doesn't make any sense. So I can't work 5 other nights in Vegas?
Yeah.
They're going to pay me less? No, that doesn't work. So that didn't work out. So now I was still at the Palms, and then they opened up Moon, and they opened up Playboy. Graham was at Playboy. I was at Moon, I think 2 nights a week, Friday and Saturday. Then we were doing Tao for a little while.
Yeah,
and Graham and I opened up Marquee Day Club.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a whole like theme party after like that they did after like surrounded.
We pitched them 3 ideas. One was just basic regatta chic like yacht club thing.
Yeah.
The other 2 I'm not going to talk about because I want to do them. And I don't want anyone to steal it. Actually, someone kind of already stole it. So I guess we wanted female bodybuilders to like pose off.
I remember that.
Instead of go-go dancers, we wanted female bodybuilders.
Wait, so who
at
does
the pool.
that?
Someone just threw a party with female bodybuilders. I don't remember. I just saw it and I was like, "Fuck this guy. He must have got our deck." But we were looking into putting a sailboat in the middle of the pool at Marquee Day Club and selling it as a table.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, yo, because we were trying to figure out ways to like add value to the day.
Yeah, of course.
So like, let's sell this as a table. Like, who wouldn't want the sailboat table? And ultimately, it didn't happen because it was going to be too expensive to crane a sailboat from Las Vegas Boulevard over the Cosmopolitan to Marquee Day Club. And then what do you do with it when it's not Sunday?
Yeah.
So that got shut down. But then we were hosting karaoke in the library at Marquee.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like we've done a lot of fun stuff.
So let's fast forward to your transition. You're playing Vegas, playing everywhere, traveling all over the country.
Hating life.
Right. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, that's part 2.
What's your decision to slow down and do other things?
I knew that
because and this is important because a lot of people are afraid.
Yep.
They think it's all I know. Yeah. It's easy money.
The thing that you said earlier is I have a problem starting things. That's like 99% of doing the thing.
Right.
You just got to start.
You just got to do it.
There's never going to be a perfect time, and I fall victim to this
So
all the time.
Was it you being exhausted, not wanting to get on another plane, in another club, that made you say, I need to do something else?
A lot of things happen at the same time. Okay. I wasn't satisfied with DJing anymore. It wasn't fulfilling. I wasn't getting a sense of accomplishment. I did not like the music that I was playing, that I had to play. I did not like the people that were in nightclubs, operators and patrons. And because I always was like, well, I'm not going to do this forever, it was easy for me to just kind of like stop doing it. And also I identified the thing that I wanted to do next, which was real estate development. And I just basically put all my energy into figuring out how I'm going to do this.
But you had zero background.
Zero experience.
Zero.
Not a fucking ounce of experience.
Dude, this is a type of shit you don't ever hear DJs say because they're afraid to say it. They're afraid to say how much they hate the people, the music, the this, you know? It's a scary thing.
But there are people that love it. There are people that thrive. I mean, I feel like you are having a really good time out there. I love it. Like you're having a resurgence and you are genuinely having a lot of fun.
It's a good time.
Yeah. And it's not even money. I think you're genuinely having a good fucking time.
I think 90% of the gigs I love.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
I'm enjoying the travel and everything too.
Hashtag blessed. Like
never.
There are people that
hashtag pass.
people love it. People thrive in the environment. There are people that like, they don't get burnt out because they don't do drugs. They don't drink. They love like new music and they love constantly pivoting and reinvent. You got to reinvent yourself as a DJ constantly because music is always changing and the tastes are always changing. But yeah, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I think the thing that made it easy for me was that I knew that this wasn't going to be forever. I knew there had to be like an episode 2. So I just focused all my energy on how am I going to do this thing? How am I going to learn how to do this thing? And then how am I going to do it? And I got lucky, you know, maybe luck, good timing, whatever. But I got my first investor and I started doing some projects with him here. And part of my deal with him, he's an Ethiopian fellow and he was gifting the country of Ethiopia a new government building. And he was like, I need you to go to Ethiopia and run this project. And I go, you know, I have no experience, right? He's like, yes, but I can't do it. And no one can do a worse job than me because he's in tech. So you go figure it out. So for a month, every other month, I'd go to Ethiopia.
Wow.
For like a year.
Holy shit.
And then I do my projects here. And
that's awesome, man.
What year was this? Is that
12, 13, 14.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Something like that. 13, 14, I think.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was end of 13 and all of 14.
Was there a part of you that was still holding on to like being open to accepting a gig or still taking gigs here and there?
So I was DJing
at that time.
I was DJing and doing the real estate thing at the same time. And then I realized that I couldn't because at the time, like properties in LA would sell in half a day. So someone would call me and be like, hey, this house is for sale. Like, oh, sounds great. I'll be back in town on Monday. It's like Friday. And then it's gone. Friday afternoon. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm really going to do this, I can't be on the road all the time. So I went from like slowing down to just
he
like
who chases
stopping.
2 rabbits doesn't
no rabbits.
Catch one. Yeah.
So the decision was made for me.
Love that.
And yeah, and I stopped DJing a lot. I was still doing a gig here or there. And then when I was way deep into real estate development and like kind of forgot about DJing, I was like, well, let me go like take some gigs and see what's up.
Real estate development is that flipping houses or is that
from
the ground up?
I don't like the term flipping houses. Yeah, it has a very negative connotation.
Oh, does it? I don't know.
I think so because it sounds like you're turning it over for profit, which means you're probably cutting corners in the name of profit. I prefer rehabbing houses.
I prefer.
But it could be either way. It could be ground up, or it could be.
I didn't mean it in a negative way.
Yeah, no,
I'm
no.
obviously clueless.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that industry.
It could be new construction, or it could be a rehab.
A rehab.
Rehabilitating houses.
Because I legit build these things like I'm gonna live in them.
Yeah.
Right. Because like, well, for one thing, I'm lucky in that I'm not operating with really narrow margins. Like I'm building rehabbing big houses with pretty big margins.
The same investor, the Ethiopian.
I'll get back to that in a second.
Do you want to rehab my house for zero profit?
No.
Oh.
So, but I will advise you.
Okay, I'll take it.
So you know, guys will put in like cheap appliances, or like not do the plumbing the way it needs to be, or not do the electrical. It's like, okay, what are you saving? 50 grand, 100 grand? At the end of the day, it's an inferior product. Or like, you know, cheap cabinets. It's like, I'd rather spend a little bit more money and it sell faster and be able to ask for a little bit more money, or even just selling fast. That's valuable, because if I have to carry the house for 6 months because it's not selling because I put shitty cabinets in it, that costs me money, right?
Yeah.
So I really build these things like I'm going to live in them. And then, you know, it's proven to be,
look at the watch,
quite fruitful.
Yeah.
But the Ethiopian, I had to part ways with him because he proved to be offering more problems than solutions. And because I was so early in the game, I didn't want to be like the guy that doesn't pay on time.
Right.
So I was just like, let me go find my own thing. And I've just been kind of scrappy and doing my thing ever since.
Love it.
Getting money here, getting money there.
I know everyone.
I wish I could find a whale to like just be like, I believe in you and I want you to have access to all the money you need whenever you want.
I need one of those whales, man.
I just don't like.
Well, you were at dinner with the wolf.
Oh,
with his money.
I don't know
He's
how
not
much
a whale anymore.
I don't know how much money he's got.
I'm sure he's still got some money.
I don't like raising money.
Yeah.
Because that's a business all in itself. I like building stuff. Just like I like DJing. Like there was nothing there, and now there's a thing there, and I did it.
Yeah.
Like I like that sense of accomplishment. I guess I could get a sense of accomplishment raising money, but I've never been driven by money. I've been broke. I've been rich. I've been broke. I've been rich. So money doesn't move the needle for me. So like, if I go and I raise $100 million tomorrow, I wouldn't be like, oh, good for me. I'd just be like,
no,
okay.
That's when this real work starts.
I could
pressure.
I could now chill on money, but now I got to go for real work.
Yeah, you got to make these guys their profit.
Double that money now.
It's money's not. It's just like it doesn't matter.
Where do you see DJing at today?
I have no idea, because I play a bungalow, and that's a
How
whole.
often?
Once a month, twice a month, maybe.
Yeah, just for fun. Just
yeah,
do
like
your
somebody's like, I'm not feeling well, or I don't feel like DJing. Like, go cover for me. Yeah.
Do you still practice at all? Do you have a setup?
I have a setup, but it's for vinyl. I don't have a Serato setup.
How many of those old mixes you still like run back?
Now all of them.
I feel like because
they're all coming back.
You have such like dope creative mixes.
Your mixes were so fucking
I bet you if
good.
you did a TikTok video of one of them, you'll go viral.
Turn famous as fuck.
Like you'd be like, these boots are made for walking. You'd be like,
to walk it out.
And then walk it out, or whatever the fuck you do.
To me, it's like...
I copied that mix a couple times.
To me, it's like, what a dick.
I know. At least I'm telling you.
To me, it's like... it's not special to me. It's like, well, fucking duh. Like my Big Pimpin', Who Can It Be Now mix?
Oh, I don't even... Oh, I remember that one. I feel like... Yeah, like...
We put it on the Super 7 mix.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, well, fucking duh. So, like, I'm not going to, like, fake be surprised that this is so amazing for TikTok. Like, I'm just not that dude. I'm just not wired like that.
No, I know. It's so funny.
But man. I run all those mixes now because all those songs are cool again.
It's fucking... they're all runnable.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah,
I run all those mixes. One. I wish I recorded... Kevin Scott just sent me 2 recordings from Vanguard from, like, 04, 05, 06.
You're like the 4 Color Zach of like the 1900s.
Of the 19th. What about the entire 20th century? You're the 4 Color Zach of the entire 20th century. Yo, you know, I asked him. We were hanging out. I asked him. I was like, yo, what made you come up with? And I'm only telling this story because props to him for even shining a light on this.
Yeah.
I was like, what made you come up with like the tone play stuff? And he's like, you guys. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you guys did that mix on one of your mixtapes. It was a Depeche Mode into Tyga, I think, something like that, and the Electro Tyga, not the Tiga. And he was like, that mix like made
Tiger.
made me like rethink about like how I can play records. And I was like,
wow.
Oh, word. Yeah, we did do that, didn't we? But like at the time, it was just like, oh, this just makes sense. Obviously, this is going to go on the mixtape.
Well, the way
but he like took it and ran with it. Like I don't think I've come up with another tone play since. So he's the guy. He can have it.
Yeah.
But most dudes don't want to give you props.
No, yeah, he's insane too, man. God damn.
The way you mix and like mix like made all of us like stepped it up. And I was like, oh my god, I was trying to come up with like the most clever mix ever.
I think it's just because like we were playing songs that weren't supposed to be played.
Yeah.
And then when everyone else caught up and got the records and like figured out how to play the records, then like the playing field leveled a little bit.
Yeah.
But then the advantage I had was I don't give a fuck, and I'll play I'll try to play any record, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like I'll know immediately, and I'll be out in 10 seconds. Yeah. Like it's not the end of the world. Whereas like a lot of people hold themselves back from playing stuff that maybe they shouldn't play. So I don't know. I don't think anything's off limits. I think play whatever the fuck you want.
Well, you haven't been playing at the current spots.
There's that too.
You get flipped off nowadays and get this phone in your face. Yeah,
I got ice thrown at me in Toronto right before I went on.
What did you? Before you even got on, they knew you were about to come with that Miley Cyrus and fucking Vanessa Carlton.
Oh yeah. I think it wasn't for me, but I got hit.
All right, what's some advice? We'll end it like this. What's some advice you can give, being that you've seen it all, done it all, from DJing to no money to making really good money to traveling all over the world to Vegas residencies, and that didn't satisfy you, to transitioning and grinding to Ethiopia for months at a time, years at a time.
Advice.
Like, and then to now being a very successcul
entrepreneur
or rehabilitator.
Home rehabilitator.
I'm rehabbing homes. I'm doing okay.
So like for the guy, right? For the guy that, or the guy or girl, the DJ that's just not satisfied and they want a way out. They don't know what to do, or they considered a way out, but they're not sure because DJ money's still easier or their only thing. What's some advice? Give me advice.
Okay. Number one advice, this is not in any particular order. Just start. Whatever you want to do next, just start.
But you have to have the idea of what you want to do next, right?
Even if you're like, I'm not fulfilled with DJing. DJing sucks. I'm not getting to where I want to be. Whatever the case may be, I want to go flip burgers at In-N-Out. Okay, well, you have to go to In-N-Out and ask for the application and fill out the application and hand in the application and follow up and figure out how to go flip burgers at In-N-Out. Like there are steps that have to happen.
They get really good benefits.
Managers there make bucks. Yeah, they
do.
make like $200-300 a year.
100%.
They kill it. Yeah,
In-N-Out,
managers at In-N-Out kill it.
Damn.
That's why everyone wants to work at In-N-Out, because they want to be a manager.
Yeah.
They kill it.
They make money.
Yeah, they make good money. And you're managing an In-N-Out. Like, how hard can it be? They have 3 things on the menu: drinks, fries, and burgers.
Not with that secret menu that now's been going.
The TikTok
menu.
So just start. Like, just start. Yeah. If you want to start a T-shirt brand, just start. Do one shirt and see what happens. And then take the feedback, and then do the second shirt, and then do 3 shirts, and then do 5, and then do 10, and then do shorts, and then do hats, and just keep going. And you don't have to don't hire anyone.
Yeah, do it yourself.
Do it yourself for as long as possible.
That's the most important thing, is like, you can't. There was
you want to know how I learned?
A friend of mine that's really
before I forget, you want to know how I learned how to build houses? I volunteered at Habitat for Humanity. Oh, wow. Because they build houses.
Yeah. Wow.
And you don't have to have any skills.
So you just went and learned.
I just went and learned. So when there was a day that they were building some shit, what are you guys doing today? Plumbing? Great, I'll be there.
Wow.
Framing? Okay, I'll be there. And that was free school. But like, you have to start. You have to take the step.
There's a friend of mine that's really successful.
5?
well, a different friend that's a successful. He you know him too, but he has a business, and he told me, he goes, everyone that works for me, like I know how to do their job. Like I know everything about my business.
You have to.
Like everything. Like he didn't, I don't know how to do this. I'll hire someone. Like he learned, all right, what do I need to do? Let me learn how to do this. And then, okay, cool. Now I need help.
You have to, because you'll never know where you're bleeding from.
Yeah.
If you don't know that your accounts receivable how to run your accounts receivable, you won't know it's fucked. If you don't know that your invoicing, how to do your invoicing, you won't know it's fucked when it's fucked. And you won't be able to teach someone how to do it.
I need to ask you for I need a guy to build some wood.
I got you.
Yeah. Need to put a thing together.
I'm a big woodworking guy.
Good.
Hey, yo,
like
woodworking, no pause, real estate development, watches. I'm working with Steve Goodman. Shout out to Steve Goodman.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got that PPP. Or during COVID, you guys were doing that.
During COVID, I somehow found myself supplying PPE,
that's what it was.
PPE for various people, and I got to a point where,
what's PPE?
It was the supplies.
Personal protection equipment, masks,
face
this, that, whatever.
Okay.
Sanitizers.
Got it.
Like a friend of mine who has a plastic surgery office was like, I know that you were involved in some medical surgery centers. Can you call their supplier and ask if they can get me these masks? And I was like, why can't
you guys were in it early?
Why can't you get masks? And then another guy called me, like he gave my number to someone, and then I was like, oh, fucking COVID. It's like people can't get masks because of COVID. So it got to a point where I called up Steve Goodman and I was like, hey, how do I move millions of masks from China to the United States? Because I don't know how to do freight shit. And he does this all day long. And he was like, what the fuck are you doing? So I told him, I was like, I got a couple deals. And he's like, all right, well, I know how to move it. You know how to get it. I need to get it for the casinos and the hotels and all the people that I'm working with, because they're not buying pens and T-shirts. They're buying PPE. So let's partner up. So we did a bunch of deals together. And then that got real, like everyone became a PPE dealer, and it was like crazy. And we made money, and none of us want to.
You always said we made millions.
None of us.
Those masks bought you a watch.
None of us. None of us want to be on phones with shitty people. So, but then he was like, do you want to come work with me? And I'm like, I don't want to be your employee. Like, we're homies. Like, let's just keep kicking ideas back and forth and doing business together like that. And we did some deals together. And so custom branded goods. If you need any of that, holler at me.
And he's got a whole warehouse.
Are you?
I'm just maximizing my time and making the most of my time.
Are you happier today or in your prime DJing?
Oh, good question. It's different.
Different type of happiness.
Yeah, it's different because back then, like, I didn't know better.
Yeah, different age.
Yeah, like in my early 20s, like mid 20s or whatever. I thought it couldn't possibly get better than this.
You're a wild boy too, man.
Yeah, couldn't possibly get better than this. But then it got worse.
Yeah.
And then it got better, but different, right? Because like I'm 44, like I'm not going to be on the streets drunk every night, like.
No, for sure.
Doing all that kind of stuff.
Not
so
like me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're enjoying yourself though.
Yeah, I remember.
They're dudes and women that are doing this that don't really enjoy themselves. Yeah. They're doing it because like they think they have to, or it's part of their brand, or they're part of their identity. They don't know what else to do. They're scared to do the next thing. Yeah. Like, just do the next thing. Just start.
Just start.
There's never going to be a perfect time. You're never going to prepare enough.
But the more you delay it, the further away it is.
The further away it is, and the further away the inevitable is, which is just starting. So just fucking start. Make the mistakes, and that's it. Everyone's going to talk shit about you. Everyone's going to make fun of you. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Insert the Shia LaBeouf clip.
No one gives a fuck. No one actually cares.
No one cares as much as people think.
Yeah. No one cares as much as people
They worry
think.
about their own shit.
And if they are talking about you, it's probably bad, and you don't need
and
that
fuck
energy.
Them too,
yeah. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Who gives a fuck?
A lot of people that are afraid to do shit because of what people think is like, dude, I'm pretty sure they're not thinking of you. And if they are,
I swear to God, they're not. And if they
are, you already got their attention.
Yeah, if they're talking shit about you behind closed doors, they're not taking the time to do the thing that they're not starting. You started. You're already ahead of the game. So,
yeah,
just start.
Stonerokk, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Michael.
Yeah. If anyone wants to talk about any of this stuff in greater detail, I'm happy to talk about it. You can call me. You can slide into DMs, like whatever you want. I'll send you stuff to listen to.
Is your thing just at Stonerokk?
At Stonerokk, STONEROKK. I'll talk about fasting. I'll talk about sleep. I'll talk about light exposure. We didn't even talk about sleep. You guys,
I know.
You guys don't. You guys don't want to know how bad you're treating your bodies by not sleeping.
No, I'm serious. Like I said earlier, bro. People love the health advice, so I want to do another one with you where it's just like about sleep, like strictly focused, where we'll have like
we'll
notes.
do another one.
I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start the 36-hour Mondays fast.
Well, I'll put you on the group chat with
and then I'm gonna do maybe like a month, no caffeine, no coffee, and then we'll see. Maybe we'll revisit like a,
Don't say that too loud. You have a coffee brand.
You don't have to drink your own coffee. Drug dealers don't do their own drugs.
No. It's not. He's just kidding.
I was just kidding. All right. Thank you, Stone.
You let the cat out the bag early. That's what happened.
Huh?
You let the coffee cat out of the bag early.
No, I was just giving him a hard. He does have he's an investor in coffee.
I'm an investor in coffee.
That's fine.
That's what I meant.
It's all good.
I was just fucking with him. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Share it with your friends, and we will see you guys.
Should we do
soon.
a discount code, or do we have one?
Scratch is like, nah. Well, we
no
need,
discount code.
We don't have any new merch. So
okay.
No.
Next time we do a merch drop, we'll do a discount code.
Gold Rolexes. That's it.
Yeah, we
You
need.
get free advice.
We're trying to get a Rolex.
Just hit him up.
Yeah, you get free advice from me. Just
can't get a Rolex if you keep doing discount codes.
That watch is, my God.
Get a Seiko. All right, thank you guys.
Peace.
Peace.